All right, guys, so today we have some absolutely massive news to talk about coming out of the CS2 world today. It started out with just this seemingly, harmless or meaningless tweet by Flom where he said this has to be the most stacked major playoff we have ever had, right? And obviously he's talking about the Budapest Major that is ongoing right now. It's going to be, wrapping up relatively soon, I believe over the next week or so. People love CS2 Majors. They get us hyped up. They hopefully build the fan base up, build the excitement up, get more people caring about CS, more people playing the game and all of that. But alongside this tweet, like I said, seems like a kind of nothing burger tweet. He's just tweeting about the major. Came some very, very big CS2 news that gives us information about the future of the game and one of the potentially, biggest updates of 2026 and what kind of could be inside of that and all the implications of that as well. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. Today's video is sponsored by Skinland, and they're offering you a $10 bonus right now if you go over and sell your skins to them. All you have to do is click on the skins that you're looking to get rid of and then select one of their many convenient payout options, and that's it. But it gets even better because they're also offering you the ability to get some of your money instantly cashed out. No more waiting for that annoying 7-day trade hold. You can get some of your money right away. Skinland is now the official partner of Team Vitality, one of the biggest CS2 teams in the world. The best work with the best, and even Team Vitality chooses Skinland. Also, if you're looking to change up your inventory and buy some skins, due to the recent market crashes, prices are way down. So if there is a knife, a glove, an expensive skin that you've been wanting for a long time, you might want to go check out Skinland with that first link in the description below right now. So obviously there's been a lot of talk about what the next big CS2 update is going to be, especially after Counter-Strike recently, put out the tweet talking about how the new, potential compensation model for skins is going to work, how they're looking for a couple new skin collections, how they're looking for a couple new sticker collections, how they're, putting out the Dr. Boom charms to the community and stuff like that. So people are getting excited for the next armory rotation, for the next big update, all of that. But obviously it's very close to the end of the year in 2025. We're getting close to the Budapest Major is going on right now. We're getting close to the end of it. Then we're getting close to the winter break and holidays in the United States. And, Valve likes to take this kind of winter vacation and stuff like that. So we're not really looking ahead to the next big update until, 2026. But 2025, I think overall has been a very good year for Counter-Strike. There's been some ups and downs, some hiccups, some bad updates, some weird stuff, whatever. But the CS2 player base has grown. The market has grown. Things are going well. There's more money, more players, more, there's still things that need to be fixed, yes. But overall, 2025, I think, has been a good year, and they're set up very well for some big, exciting, awesome updates in 2026. And like I said, this tweet here gives us some insight into what one of those big updates in 2026 could be. So Flom tweeted this out. Counter-Strike replied to him. And again, Counter-Strike, whenever they get active on Twitter, whenever they decide, to start tweeting out stuff or replying to people or whatever, I don't know why this is deleted or whatever. Is this even deleted? I don't know. I went to pull this up for the video, and now I'm finding out that maybe it's deleted. I don't know. But either way, we can still do this video. It doesn't matter if this actually exists anymore or not. It looks like this tweet got deleted, which is super strange. Maybe it's because they didn't want this whole thing to come out or whatever. But anyway, we can still go based off of this because here is that tweet itself right here, where Valve, this is like a collage. It's kind of a lot going on. It might hurt your eyes a little bit, but super funny and interesting that tweet just gone all of a sudden once I go to make this video. I literally set this all up minutes ago, but whatever. CS2 replies to Flom. They said, and the grand finals are best of 5. That's awesome. That's exciting. Whatever. I hate chickens. Let me cook 2003. He replies, bring back cash MFs. And guess what? CS2 decided to like this tweet. Now, again, it's not shocking or surprising or whatever that cash is going to come back eventually to CS2. Obviously, we've known that for a while. But again, whenever Valve decides to get active and start doing stuff on social media, it is usually very calculated. They usually do things for a reason. They ignore a lot of stuff. They never communicate with the community. They never tell us anything. They never throw us any tidbits or hints or whatever. But once they start, engaging with stuff on social media, that generally means something is in the works. That generally means something is coming soon. And like I said, I don't expect cash to come out at the end of 2025. I don't expect any new big updates in 2025 or anything like that. I think there's really not enough time. If we look on Google real quick, I believe I have it here. Yes, the Budapest Major end date. The finals for the Budapest Major is going to be December 14th of 2025. And it's possible we could get something, ready to go right when the major ends or during the grand final or whatever. But to me, whenever you put out a new update, it needs to be monitored. There's always going to be bugs. There's going to be things that need to be fixed. And I don't think, like I said, Valve wants to be doing that. That close to the holidays, that close to Christmas, that close to New Year's, that close to, their winter break and vacations and all that stuff. So I think it makes a heck of a lot more sense to just wait till sometime in 2026. It doesn't even have to be early 2026. It could even be, later on or whatever. I believe the next major isn't going to be until like June of 2026 or something like that. So there's a big window from like the end of December to, the middle of the summer where we have plenty of time for updates and new content and new things to come out and all this stuff. Also, we do obviously have Premiere Season 3 going on right now, and, that is expected, if it lasts around 6 months, which I think a lot of people are expecting, it's expected to end around January 2026 with Season 4 launching around then. So if we are going to get some kind of new map, if we are going to get cash potentially added back, it could make sense to wait until that Premiere Season 3 ends, which again could be at the end of the major, could be sometime in January, could be once Valve's ready to go for the new year. We don't necessarily know, but this is really, really big and really, really exciting. Again, doesn't necessarily mean it's coming super soon, but I think it means it's coming sooner rather than later. And a lot of people have been speculating and wondering, as people say in the comment section here, we should get the map in a competitive pool before that, before, he says here, Premiere Season 3 will end after the major, and the only map rotation will happen with the next season. So people are expecting to see whatever the new map is, people are expecting to be in competitive sooner before it actually comes to the new season. So maybe after the major's over, we could see whatever that new map's going to be. There has been a lot of speculation that it will either be Cache or Cobblestone being the next map added. Again, we've known for a long time there's been work on some kind of like wintry, snowy Cobblestone map, but we also know that Valve purchased Cache from FM Pwn at some time. I don't remember if it was 2024 or 2025, whatever. Over the last couple of years, so at some time they purchased the updated version of Cache from FM Pwn, and obviously they were going to be like rebuilding it and working on it, optimizing it, all that stuff, and it was going to take tons of time, but people didn't know exactly how long that was going to take. There was some speculation that Cache was going to take too long, so maybe Cobblestone would be the next map, or they'd come out with some other map or whatever, but maybe Cache is ready to go. Maybe Cache is getting close to being done. Maybe Cache is their priority, which is something that I know that I would truly love. Cache, I really think, is my favorite Counter-Strike map. It's the map that I for sure played the most, like in CSGO era. It is a map that I would be really, really happy to have back in CS2. It's a map that would definitely make me play more of the game, and I think that's the truth for a lot of people out there. So I think Cache is one of those maps with like a ton of nostalgia and a ton of like good memories on it for people. Yeah, it has its issues, no map is perfect or whatever, but I think overall Cache has a lot of great memories. Cache is a very, very popular map. It's a map that people like. I think it would bring people back to the game, and I think this would be a very, very big update. So if this is one of the big major updates we get in 2026, whether it's in January or April, or whether it's, in November of 2026, whatever, as long as it comes at some point in 2026, I think this will be a very, very big, very, very successful update for Counter-Strike in 2026. And obviously not only, gameplay-wise with a new map coming in, a potential map rotation, a potential new, active duty map pool, a potential map being rotated out of the active duty map pool, which, hey, who knows what the heck that would be. I know there's going to be a lot of speculation and debate about that. Also, with a potential new map comes a potential new, Cache 2026 collection, which means new content, new skins, but also means a potential armory rotation as well, which I think is something we need to prepare for. Obviously, I'm always hyped and excited when we get new content. I love getting new skins, especially if they're cool. I don't really think the last couple collections we've gotten have been all that insane. When we look at like the Train 2025 collection, I don't really love this one that much. I think out of it, like the Long Dong, I don't really mess with at all. Hellish, I think, is okay. I think the Tech 9 Whiteout is probably my favorite skin from this entire set, and other than that, I think a lot of the skins are pretty forgettable. I think the Train 2025 collection is a skin collection that I will largely forget about, but I do like the new Train. I love, what they've done with the lighting and the rain and how inspects work and all that stuff. So overall, I'm happy to have Train back in. I just didn't really love the Train collection, so I am hoping when we eventually get a new Cache 2026 collection, that it will be a banger, that it'll have a cool covert, it'll have some cool skins, some cool options, and that people will really, really be hyped up, not only for Cache re-entering into the game, but also for everything that comes with it, which I think will be super exciting. Now, that also means if we have stuff coming new into the armory, like potentially the new Cache collection, and also potentially some of the other stuff that Counter-Strike has teased in their most recent post as well. Like I said, those two new skin collections, which are going to be, the Arabesque art style and the Spy and Tech whatever collection that they have working on, but also two new sticker sets and those Dr. Boom charms, whatever. That means potentially, maybe that's all coming to the armory at once. Maybe we're getting, 3 new skin collections, collections, 2 new sticker collections, a new charm collection, or maybe that's just them mapping out the whole year of 2026. Maybe in 2026 we're going to get a cash, we're going to get those 2 skin collections, we're going to get 2 sticker collections, we're going to get the charms. Maybe that's our whole roadmap for the year. I don't really know, but either way, that makes right now a great time to start positioning your armory investments, because again, I think it's not out of the question if we are going to be getting potentially 3 new skin collections in 2026. Now, hey, one of those could be to a case, one of those could be, to an active duty case, one of those could be to an armory case. Maybe they're all going to be collections. I don't know. But if we do get 3 new collections, I think that makes it extremely likely that at least one of the Sport and Field and Overpass collection, if not both, are going to be removed. And when we start to look at, these are the industrials from the Overpass collection. We have 8 million of these unboxed. This is, I believe this is the best way to actually find out, which of these collections has been the most redeemed, because obviously since you can't trade up into the industrials, these are like all the industrials that are ever been redeemed. So we have about 8 million for Overpass, and we have around 7.7 million for Sport and Field, meaning that actually Overpass has been redeemed a little bit more than Sport and Field, but they're pretty similar. They're pretty damn close. They're in the same ballpark. I do think overall the M4 Fade is probably going to have people doing more trade-ups for it, but the Overpass collection has had people redeeming more of it, not like in a, I don't think, a super statistically significant amount or whatever, but overall these have been 2 very, very successful collections, 2 very, very cool coverts, 2 collections that Valve is going to want to like reproduce and stuff like that. And once these actually go discontinued, these skin collections are going to get even more hype. They're going to get even more exciting. So right now, I think is a potential time while these prices are low. You can see right now the Overpass 2024 collection only has 105% unboxing ROI. That means the prices of all the skins inside of it are low. They are down, because historically the numbers have been higher than that. Obviously the Sport and Field collection is looking kind of expensive right now, but still we have seen that here is the graphic design collection. Once it got removed, it's at 300% ROI, which means there's a lot of room for the Sport and Field collection and the Overpass collections to explode once they actually get removed. Now obviously the Overpass collection is maybe held down a little bit by the fact that there's souvenirs of it and stuff like that. I don't really know. But if these potentially both do get removed, now could be a very, very good time to start loading up on all the different skins. I think of all the different rarities in both Sport and Field and Overpass. Also, like I said, Valve, is talking about the 2 new sticker collections at once. So now I'm sure is a great time to be buying some Elemental Craft stickers as well. Again, Elemental Craft stickers sitting at 121% unboxing ROI right now, with Character Craft sitting at 200%. So that shows you some room to run if and when it does finally get removed. And then, of course, if we do get the new community Dr. Boom charms, that means maybe the missing link charms or the small arm charms could be removed. I don't necessarily know. But it does seem like, like I said, Valve getting active on social media usually means something. I believe there was one more tweet that they liked as well. It's going to be hard to find now since they deleted this tweet or whatever. But somebody else posted that they posted something about clan tags and that Valve liked that as well. So maybe, Counter-Strike has some kind of clan tag update mixed in with all this cash stuff coming in early 2026 or something like that. I don't know. But like I said, the fact that they're engaging with this stuff on Twitter, I'm sure people have been tweeting about them about cash for, like the entire lifespan of CS2 so far. Since CS2 came out, people have always wanted cash to come back. People have always wanted cash in the game. So the fact that they're choosing now to engage with some of these tweets, to engage with the community a little bit, to, like these tweets, interact, whatever, I think it definitely means something. And I think it means a very, very big CS2 update, potentially an armory rotation, potentially a map rotation, potentially just, some new skins, a new collection, whatever. Could be coming to CS2 sooner rather than later. I think that's hype and exciting, but I also think there's some ways to make some money off it by basing your CS2 investments around this information as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you the next one. Until then, peace.